जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुनतीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय निदाई गौरंग जय निदाई गौरंग, निदाई गौरंग जय निताई गौरंग। जय निताई गौरंग निदाई गौरंग जय निताई गौरंग। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, entitled as the Universal Form, and this is the last verse of this chapter. Please repeat after me. Mat karma krin, mat parmo, mat bhakta, sangavarjitaha, nirvairaha, sarvabhuteshu, yasa mam, iti pandava. Mat karma krin, mat parmo, mat bhakta sangavarjitaha, nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu, yasa mameti pandava. Mat karma krin, mat paramo, mat bhakta sangavarjitaha, nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu, yasa mameti pandava. We'll chant one more last time. Mat karma krin, mat paramo, mat bhakta sangavarjitaha, nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu, yasa mameti pandava. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. Please repeat the translation after me. My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. It's a long purport. Maybe just I'll read part of it and then we'll start our discussion. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, anyone who wants to approach the Supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality, Krishna, must take this formula as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Now, Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the results of his work. But the result should be done for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna, and he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service, as is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is all Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna. One should also accept as prasadam, food, the remnants of offering to Krishna. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, or anywhere for that matter, at least any poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. He can sow tulsi plants because tulsi leaves are very important, and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or a little water, and he is satisfied. This leaf especially refers to the tulsi, so one can sow tulsi leaves and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna. So, we'll just read this much and we'll start our discussion. So, this particular chapter, what we are reading, entitled as the Universal Form, and this is the last verse, wherein Krishna is actually revealing the secret of how one can go back to Krishna. So this is a 5-step formula. 5 items Krishna is mentioning here. So what are the 5 items? Says Mat Karma Krin, means we should do Krishna karma. One should engage in doing Mat Karma. Krishna is saying this, that do my work, because everyone has to work in this world. Nobody can be without work. We cannot sit idle for a moment. Nahi kashit chanamapi jati tishtati akarmakrit. So Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita itself in 3rd chapter that not even for a second we can be without doing something. So we had to do something, but Krishna is actually telling here that what you should do is mat karma, my karma, do my work. Okay, so that is one. Second item is mat parmo. Mat parmo means Krishna is saying that make me the goal of your life. So everybody has their own goal. Right? What is the goal of your life? You ask the people. They'll have all big goals to achieve. To become this, I want to achieve this. Something or other they will say. So yes, there can be many goals, but we can say them intermediary goals. But what is the final goal? Final goal should be Krishna. Because so far we are in this world, we had to get so many things. Somebody has to make business, we have to make money, build a house, and so many other things. We can have some goals. But that is not the end goal of life. That is the intermediary goal. But here Krishna is saying that you make me mat paramo. The final goal, the end goal of your life should be Krishna. So the point is, you achieve while pursuing your intermediary goals. Ultimately your goal should be how to attain Krishna. So number 1, mat karma krin. Krishna is saying 5 items here by which one can attain Krishna. So do my work. We'll talk about that, what is Krishna's work. Second is make me the goal of your life. So Krishna should become the goal of your life. And then mad bhakta, become my devotee. That is the 3rd item. And then sangha varjitaha. Sangha varjita means that one should be free from the contamination, or one should be free from the bad association. Sangha. Sangha means the association. Varjitaha. Varjita means prohibited. So one should give up the bad association. Bad association, that also we'll talk about. But in simple language, bad association means the association which is not favorable for going closer to Krishna or connecting to Krishna. One should avoid that kind of association. So this is Sangha Varjita. And also, the 5th item Krishna is saying here, Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu. Sarva Bhuteshu means all. Sarva Bhuteshu, all living entities. One should be Nirvairaha. Nirvaira means there should not be anywhere. Where means enmity. So one should be free from all the enmities, from all the living entities. So these are the 5 items if we can remember. Then Krishna is saying, yes, a mamiti Pandava. O son of Pandu or Arjuna, that person comes to me. So here is a formula for you, for all of us, to go to Krishna. Mat karma krin. Do Krishna's work. So what is this Krishna work or Krishna karma? Prabhupada has explained. Prabhupada has given many examples in this one paragraph of this purport itself, that whatever activity you do which is in connection with Krishna, which is to serve Krishna, is Krishna karma. Prabhupada is giving the example, if you have just small piece of land, just grow some tulsi leaves and take those tulsi leaves and offer to Krishna. As Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Doyam Yome Bhakti Amrechadi. Little patra. Patra means this tulsi leaves. So you grow tulsi leaves and offer to Krishna, and that is considered as Krishna karma. You cook the food in your house. Every day we have to cook, right? So you cook food and offer it to Krishna with love and devotion. Yome bhaktya brahachati, and Krishna accept that, and that becomes Krishna karma. Like that, simple things, right? These are all Krishna karma. Let us discuss a little bit more about this Krishna karma. So we can start from all these simple things like offering some little flower, little tulsi leaves, a little water, and some food, some fruits, or something like that. These are all Krishna karma. So 5,000 years back, when Krishna was talking all this to Arjuna, Krishna was right there. If there is any question, any confusion, any doubt, that, oh Krishna, you are telling me that I should do your work, but I'm confused. What is your work? I don't understand. What is your work? Can you please explain? So Arjuna had that opportunity to ask the question, what is your work that I should be doing? But now we may wonder that in this modern age we don't have Krishna right in front of us. Krishna gave the instruction that do my work, but now I'm scratching my head. What is Krishna's work? So actually Prabhupada explains that we are not bereft of that opportunity to understand what is Krishna's work, because Krishna has already explained in Bhagavad Gita what is his work. So we carefully read Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand what is Krishna's work, and you take up that work. So all these small examples I'm giving, Prabhupada writing in the purport. And then Prabhupada also explains what is Krishna's work in the 18th chapter. Towards the end of the 18th chapter, Krishna says, Ya idam paramam guyam mad bhaktesho vidashyati bhakti mai param kritva mame vashyati asamshayaha. Meaning to this verse says, for one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. And then Krishna says this famous verse, Na cha tasman manushyesu kaschin me priyakrittamaha bhavitana cha me tasmad anyaha priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So these are the two verses where you will understand what is Krishna's work. Krishna is saying, who is most dear devotee to me? Every devotee is very dear to Krishna. But then also Krishna is specifically mentioning that one who share this wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge about Krishna. Nat chatasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakrittama. No one is more dear than that person who shares, who preaches this message of Bhagavad Gita. So what is Krishna's work? Krishna's work is this. Krishna wants all of us to share this wisdom of Bhagavad Gita to everyone. But for that, first we should have this knowledge. So first we read, we understand, we practice, and then we preach the knowledge. We share with others, and that is Krishna's work. And Krishna actually, he showed by his personal example. He took up this task. He took up this work. When Krishna came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started a mission. And what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission? Yare dekho, tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. So that is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Hamara agya guru hana, tara idesh. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that my instruction, because this is my mission, and anyone who is a part of the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then this is my instruction to all of them. What is that instruction? Yare dekho, tare kaho, Krishna upadesh. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, you should Krishna upadesh. You should talk about Krishna's teachings, Krishna's instructions. So that is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the mission of Krishna, and that is Krishna's work. Mat karma krin. Then we had to take up Krishna work, Krishna karma. So preaching and sharing this wisdom, and that is becomes the biggest task, if we can take up this. But for that, first we had to learn, and then also on whatever level, whatever capacity we have, we should go and share. You can go and talk to your family members, your neighbors, your relatives, your friends, in your community, in your society, anywhere, in whatever capacity you can share this wisdom, and that becomes Krishna's work, Krishna karma. So Krishna is telling in this verse what we are reading today, Mat karma krin. do Krishna karma. So this is Krishna karma, that we share whatever we hear, just one word, one line, you understand, you realize, which resonates with you, go and share with others. So that is Krishna karma, right? And then we should always remember that when you go out and try to share, you try to preach, it's not an easy task. People are not there welcoming you that please come and share this wisdom. Rather, people oppose, they attack, they abuse. When we share this wisdom with the people, nobody's interested, they become inimical. And there's many, many examples like that. We see that Prabhupada quotes in the purport the example of Jesus Christ. He was going and sharing, telling the people to be God conscious. But then what happened to him? He was crucified. It's not just one example, there's many such examples. Right? Prahlad Maharaj became the devotee of Krishna. Such a small, innocent 5-year-old boy. And then he goes to the school and he is talking to his friends. Kaumaram achret pragnyo dharman bhagavadaniya durlavam manusham janma. So he is going and telling his friends that this durlavam manusham janma, this human form of life is very, very rare. So one should not waste human form of life. Rather, one should take up Krishna consciousness, become God consciousness. So a small 5-year-old boy going and teaching all this to his friends. And then what happened as a result of this preaching? His own father, Hiranyakashipu, became his greatest enemy. To the extent that he was ready to kill his own son. So when we are talking about Krishna karma, taking Krishna's work, sharing this wisdom, there's a lot of risk is involved in that. So if we are ready to take the risk for the sake of service to Krishna, and that becomes Krishna karma. One should be ready to take the risk, but very intelligently, very smartly, not ignorantly. So when we do that, so it is recommended here that one should work only for Krishna. If you don't work for Krishna, still you have to work something, but that work will result in entanglement in this world. We will become more and more bound in the intricacies of karma. So Krishna explains in the 4th chapter, Karmano hi api bodhabhyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanasya bodhabhya gehana karmano gati. This what is karma, what we should do, what we should not do. Actually Krishna is saying, it is karmana gehano gati. It is very, very complex subject matter. One cannot understand that what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. So here it is explained in a very simplified way, that though it is very, very difficult, the intricacies of karma to understand, but Krishna is saying what you should do is, you do my work. And what is Krishna's work? Whatever Krishna says, you do. Example, Arjuna. Now what Arjuna is doing? In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is saying that I don't want to fight, I don't want to kill my family members. Which sounds like a very, thoughtful proposal. That he is very thoughtful, very kind, compassionate, that he don't want to get entangled into fighting, killing and all of that. Very nice person, right? But Krishna rejected. What Krishna says? You should fight and you should kill. And Arjuna at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna engaged in the war, and then he killed many, many people, including his own family members, and still Arjuna was free from all the entanglement. So that is Krishna karma. So what will cause the bondage or entangle us in this world, and what will free us from this entanglement is very complex to understand. Because in general, you are killing someone, you are harming, hurting, torturing someone, looks like something sinful activity, and that we all understand that it is a bad activity, sinful activity, and that will result in some kind of suffering. Very complex to understand. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you should go kill and fight and kill everyone. But Arjuna is not getting entangled. Rather, his earlier proposal was, I don't want to kill. That will cause him the bondage, because he is neglecting Krishna's instruction. So that is why Krishna says, Karmana Gahano Gati. This is very, very complex to understand what we should do and what we should not do. So that is why Krishna is making it very, very simple. He's saying, whatever I say, you do that. So, from the conventional understanding, from the moral point of view, it might look something very sinful, killing someone. But if Krishna wants to kill, then that is the right thing to do. Rather than thinking, no, I don't want to kill, then you will get entangled. So, it's not about what you do, but it's about why you do. Should always remember. You cannot determine by seeing that what you do will cause the bondage or liberation. But question should be asked, why you are doing this? Arjuna is killing. So what he is doing is killing, which seems like a sinful activity. But why he is doing? Because Krishna asked him to do. So that is what is Krishna karma. So it's very, very complex to understand. On the contrary, now another same example we can take, that Arjuna is fighting and Duryodhana is also fighting. Externally speaking, both are engaged in a similar activity of fighting and killing. But Arjuna is completely free from the bondage and entanglement, but Duryodhana is completely entangled and implicated. So what is the determining factor? It's not the activity itself. What determines is why you are doing this. So Arjuna is killing and fighting because Arjuna is doing because Krishna is asking him to do that. And Duryodhana, why is doing? He did not even pay attention to what Krishna wanted him to do. So that caused him the bondage. He has to suffer for that. Right. So that is Krishna karma. So here we are reading 5 items. Mat karma krin. Krishna is saying number 1 item is do my work. We are understanding what is Krishna's work. Krishna's work is this. Whatever Krishna says, do. Krishna says, Nachatasman manushyezo kashin me priyakritma. Go and share and preach this knowledge. And for doing that, it might, externally speaking, look like some materialistic activity. There was this devotee in Vrindavan, Prabhupada's disciple, in the early days of Hare Krishna movement. And then there was a temple construction was going on in Vrindavan, the famous Krishna Balaram temple. And in those days, things were very complex. Things were not easy. To even get the cement bags itself was a very complex process. To write an application to the government had to sanction, and there's a limited supply and all of that. And Prabhupada already announced the date for inauguration, the temple inauguration. But there was no enough supply of cement. And this devotee, his American body devotee in India, sometimes they won't understand that how Indian style of working, right? It's very complex, and you have to talk to people, you have to bribe the people, and all those things. So he was not familiar with this Indian style of working, and he was struggling to get the cement bag. And all the time he was thinking about how to get the cement. So there was a letter from Prabhupada that Prabhupada is coming to Vrindavan. He was very happy. So he went and received Prabhupada in Delhi airport. They're driving in the car from Delhi to this one, to Vrindavan. And then he was a little ecstatic. He thought that, because he has never been with Prabhupada in Vrindavan. So he was thinking, now it's a great opportunity. Prabhupada will be there in Vrindavan. We are going to Vrindavan. Prabhupada will talk something very esoteric subject about Vrindavan, Krishna, Radharani and all of that. He was waiting that Prabhupada will open his mouth and speak something. He was very excited. And then Prabhupada was very silently chanting on his beats, japa. He did not speak anything. Almost, 2-3 hours passed, and they are almost about to reach Vrindavan. And he was wondering, like, if Prabhupada opens something, he says, share something about Vrindavan. And then Prabhupada actually asked. Prabhupada spoke finally when they are almost about to reach Vrindavan. And when Prabhupada spoke, it shattered all his fantasies. Prabhupada says, cement. So he was thinking Prabhupada will talk about something, Krishna, Radharani and all of that. But Prabhupada was thinking about that already the dates have been announced for temple inauguration, and people are invited, and cements are now getting. So he asked, what about cement? And then this devotee was sharing that sometimes people don't understand what is Krishna karma. Krishna karma is not always just talking all esoteric things, but taking Krishna's project, Krishna's task. And in fact, this devotee later, he was talking to Prabhupada, and he was saying, Prabhupada is too complex here to work with all these Indian people. They're very complex. and it's too difficult to get the cement bag, and I'm becoming too conscious of whole day, morning to evening. I'm thinking about cement, cement, cement. Even while chanting Hare Krishna on my beats, in my mind, cement is only going. So, Prabhupada, I don't understand whether I'm Krishna conscious or I'm cement conscious. And then Prabhupada says that the cement will take you back to Krishna. Because you're thinking about cement, but for what? That is also Krishna's work. So we need to very carefully understand, and that is what Krishna is saying here, that mat karma kren, do my work. So for doing Krishna's work, sometimes we had to work like some outsider, hardcore, materialistic person. And sometimes devotees also, they're engaged in so many activities, so much of management and so many things they do. It doesn't look like, activity of a sadhu. Devotees are running very passionate. They have to raise the funds, collections to build the temple, and so many things they have to arrange. So much of management are involved. Look like this sadhu is not looking like a sadhu only. But it's not about what you do, it's about why you do. So a devotee might be engaged very passionately, but they're engaged in the service of Krishna, and that is considered as Krishna karma. So that is the understanding that we can get here. And many such examples can be quoted, that how devotees were very passionate. Devotee used to go out for book distribution, morning to evening. Morning 6 o'clock they'll leave temple, and they'll enter only in the night at 9 o'clock. Whole day, passionately on the roads, working hard. Right. And then that is considered as Krishna karma. It might sound like a very passionate activity. People think, oh, sadhu, a devotee should be very sattvic, very sober, cool, calm, shanti. But sometimes you'll see devotees not at shanti. They looks like very ashant, right? Too passionate. But for Krishna, and that is still considered as Krishna karma. So this is item number 1. Let us just do some, let us justify our discussion that we have 4 more items to discuss. Okay. So one item is mat karma krin, that do Krishna karma. That is one item. And then mat parmo. Mat parmo means Krishna is saying, make me the goal of your life. We all have different goals in our lives, but what should be the goal of our life? Our goal of life is Krishna and Krishna's seva. So devotee is never interested in anything else. He is not settling down to anything else. He is not even interested in so-called liberation, the mukti. Many times you ask the people, what is the goal of your life? The goal of life is moksha or mukti, getting free from the bondage of repeated cycle of birth and death. And that sounds like a good proposal, that is a good goal. But then we understand from the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotee's goal is not even mukti or moksha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mam janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktira hetu ki doi. That I am not even bothered about that if I have to take birth again in this material world. I am not even asking that, oh no, I don't want birth again in this world. That is not the goal of my life. Then what is the goal of your life? Says bhavatat bhaktira hetu ki. I want a hetu ki bhakti. That is the goal of life. That unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service to Krishna is the goal of life. Krishna is the goal of life. Seva is the goal of life. Right? So as the Bhagavatam also explains, this famous verse, Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva paramakha, Vasudeva para yoga, Vasudeva parakriya, Vasudeva param jnanam, Vasudeva param tapa, Vasudeva paro dharma, Vasudeva paragati. So whatever you do, you are doing some yoga, you are doing some tapasya, some austerity, you are doing some kriya, you are reading the Vedas, you are doing pursuing some gyan, some knowledge, you are doing some dharma. Whatever ultimately your goal should be, Vasudeva. Krishna should be the goal. Our goal is not that I want to become a big jnani, I want to become a big tapasvi, I want to become a big knowledgeable person, I want to become a very dharmic person. No, that is not the goal. By doing all of that, our goal is Vasudeva. Krishna is the goal. Right? So that is, we have to make the Krishna as the goal of our life. And the third item here has been explained as Krishna is saying here, Mad Bhakta, become my devotee. And that is what is the most confidential instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna reveals towards the end of 18th chapter. Uh, He says, Param Guyatamam Guya Shrinu Me Paramam Vacha, that, oh Arjuna, I've spoken so many things, but now you listen my most confidential instruction. And then he says, Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So there Krishna says that always think of me and become my devotee, offer your pranams to me. Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, worship me. So Krishna is saying, always think of me and become my devotee. And same thing Krishna is saying here also. That mat karma krin, mat parmo, mat bhakta, become my devotee. So what is the goal of life? To become a big CEO of the company, become a prime minister or president of the country, become the big king, big powerful person. You become whatever you want to become. But at the end of the day, it will be taken away from us. So rather, make the goal which beyond this life also you don't lose. Then become the devotee of Krishna. Make Krishna the goal of your life. Right. And then another item that Krishna talks about is Sangha Varjitaha. Sangha Varjita means that one should give up the bad association. And that is one of the very, very and most important and the essential principle of on this journey of a spiritual path. What is that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Asat Sangha Tyagi Ei Vaishnava Achar. The first conduct of a devotee should be Asat Sangha Tyagi. Give up the bad association. Now this bad association also can be understood in so many different ways. One thing is avoiding the association of the materialistic people, those who are, who have a lot of materialistic desires. That is on a very gross level. That one should avoid those kind of people. Asat Sangha Tyagi. And also one should understand, Prabhupada writes here, that disassociate with not only atheistic people, but those who are attached to Gyan and Karma. Now this is the understanding that Prabhupada is giving in the purport. That somebody says Asat Sangha Tyagi means atheistic people we should avoid. But Prabhupada is saying there are two categories of people. One is atheistic, one is theistic people. Those who believe in God. But in that also there are two categories. One is impersonalist and one is personalist. Personalist means those who believe in Lord's personal form. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Bhagwan, person. We worship him as a person. Right. That is one understanding. There is another understanding of this transcendentalist. They are impersonalist, Gyanis, Karmis. So Prabhupada is saying actually one should avoid that kind of association also. That is also considered as Asat Sangha, Jnana and Karma. So there is one famous quote, Anya Bilashida Shunyam, Jnana Karma Anavratam, Anukulena Krishnanusilanam Bhakti Uttama. What is Uttam Bhakti? What is the best Bhakti? Best Bhakti is this. Says Anya Abhilashida Shunyam. Abhilasha means the desires. Anya Abhilasha. There should not be any Abhilasha. There should not be any desire except my desire is Krishna. Krishna is the goal of my life. Anya Abhilashida Shunyam. Make all other desires to zero. Completely. Vanish them. And then Jnana Karma Anavradam. And just be free from this Jnana and Karma also. Karma is I am worshipping the God, so I want this, I want that. That kind of understanding, and people with those understanding, one should be away from those people. That they are using God as some order carrier. That is not the Uttam Bhakti. That is some dealing, business deal. Then God, I'm chanting, I'm coming to temple, I'll offer you some donation, something, and please do this, please do that. It is not wrong, but it is not the best. You can ask somebody at that level, can ask somebody, people sometimes ask that, if we don't ask God, then whom we ask? So it is okay to ask, but that is not Uttama Bhakti. That is not the best thing. Best thing is that Bhavtar Bhaktir Ahetuki Bhakti. Unmotivated devotional service. That I want to do the seva, but I don't want anything in turn. That is Uttama Bhakti. I don't want anything. So Jnana Karma Anavratam. So Karmi is this, and Jnanis are that ultimately will go and merge into God. Prabhupada calls it spiritual suicide. That somebody with that understanding that at the end of the day will go and merge, become one with the God, merge into Brahman, that you are committing spiritual suicide. So one should be away from this kind of people also. We never become one with the God. That is a misconception. And this conception is very strongly pervaded in the society. People are misled by this understanding. So one should be very, very careful. Right? So we are talking about Sangha Varjitaha. So what kind of association we should avoid? Atheistic people we should avoid. Materialistic people we should avoid. All these Gyanis with the understanding of merging into Brahman, we should avoid all of that. Then whom we should associate? We should associate only with the devotee. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koe. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. All the scriptures unanimously they say that the conclusion of all the scripture is Sadhu Sangha. You go in the association of devotees, and then Machitta Madagata Prana Bodhyantasya Parasparam. When you go in the association of devotees, then what you do? Bodhyantasya Parasparam Akatyantasya Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. What you do there? You discuss about Krishna. You read about Krishna, Krishna's teachings, Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastimes, all of that. So that is the association one should have. On the contrary, one should avoid all this bad association, which is Sangha Varjitaha. And also actually Chaitanya Charitamrita explains in the same connection what is this Asat Sangha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Asat Sangha Tyaga, no, not this one. Yeah, this one, yeah. Asat Sangha Tyaga, Ei Vaishnavachar, Istri Sangi Ek Asadhu, Krishna Bhakta Ar. So what is the Asat Sangha? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Asat Sangha Tyaga. Now you should ask the question, what is this Asat Sangha? So he says, Istri Sangi Ek Asadhu, Krishna Bhakta Ar. That someone who is too attached to Stri. Now sometimes Stri means women. So women feel offended. That why we are condemned like this. Why somebody is attached to us, then one should not associate with that person. So Prabhupada explains that Stri means it is actually both the ways. For a man it is women, for women it is man. Basically it is the opposite gender. So if somebody is too attached to some opposite gender, then one should avoid that person's association also. So this is also Asat. Stri Sangi. Ek Asadhu. That person is Asadhu. Actually Bhagavatam explains, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. This is a very strong verse where it says that there are two different paths, two different approaches. If somebody is associating with Mahat Sevam, Mahat means the devotees. If somebody is associating with the devotees and engaged in serving the devotees, Mahat Sevam, then what will be the result? Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes. For that person who is engaged in the service of the devotees, in the Sadhu Seva, Vaishnava Seva, then Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes. Then for that person, the doors for mukti, for liberation, free from bondage of this repeated cycle, will be wide open just by serving the devotees. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes. And on the contrary, Tam Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. And there is another person who is Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Yoshitam means women. Again, same. Man and women. So Yoshitam Sangi, one who is too attached to the opposite gender. If someone goes and associates with that kind of person, then Tamodwaram. The door to hell is wide open. These are the statements given in the scriptures. Now it needs little more understanding. But the point here is, what we are trying to understand is Asat Sangha Tyagi. We have to give up Asat Sangha. So we see the different varieties of Asat Sangha. So atheistic people we should avoid, Karmis we should avoid, Gyanis we should avoid, and this category also is Stri Sangi Eka Sadhu. One who is too attached to the opposite gender. One should avoid this kind of association also. These are all different categories, falls under this Asat Sangha. So this is the fourth item. Okay, the quick recap. What is the first item? People should help me. Mat Karma Kran. We should do Krishna Karma. Second item, Mat Parmo, that make Krishna the goal of our life. Third item, Mad Bhakta, become devotee of Krishna. And the fourth item, Sangvarjitaha, we should avoid all this bad association. And the last item. So this is the fifth item, and Krishna is explaining this verse. All these fifth item, 5 items if we follow, then Krishna says, yes, Mameti Pandava. He will come back to me. So what is the fifth item here? So Krishna is saying, Nirvair Sarva Bhuteshu. One should be free from any kind of enmity towards anyone. One should be very kind and compassionate to all the living entities. One time, Srila Prabhupada, he was in the mid of the night, he was sitting in his room with the light, the desk light, so writing the book. And then one of the servant was always there in case Prabhupada wants something. And then Prabhupada ring the bell and he came, yes Prabhupada, what you want? And Prabhupada says, look at that insect. There's a small insect was roaming. Prabhupada says, get one leaf from outside. Take this insect or leaf, take him outside and give some food. So that is the vision of a devotee. He is nirvair. He always has a very kind and compassionate heart. Right? It has been explained again by Kapil Muni. Says, Titikshava karunika suhrda sarvadehinam ajata satravaha sadhusu sadhu bhushanam. So who is a devotee? What are the characteristics of devotee? So devotee is Titikshavaha. He is always very tolerant. He tolerates. He doesn't get angry on anyone. If somebody try to attack him or hurt him. And then he is Karunika. He is very compassionate. And he is Ajata Shatru. Means there's no one who is enemy to him. It means devotee have no enemy. He is a nirvair. So that is what Krishna is saying here. That nirvair sarva bhuteshu. Towards all the living entities, we should be free from all the enmity. So that is the nature of a devotee. One should develop that we should not have any enmity or inimical heart towards anyone. That's the understanding. And Krishna explains Vidya Vina Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Cheva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshina. A learned person, a Pandita, is Samadarshina. He sees everyone equally. He doesn't see that he is my friend and he is my enemy. No, he is Samadarshina. So devotees, they don't have any enmity towards anyone. And as we are discussing in the beginning, that when we take up Krishna's work, Krishna Karma, what is that Krishna Karma? Go and preach, go and share this wisdom. And there are a lot of challenges we have to face. A lot of people, they will attack you. But the devotee, you can defend yourself, but you don't consider those people as your enemy. Devotee's heart is like that. Because he is in knowledge. He understands that ultimately the people are suffering in this world. And I have taken up this task of helping them. They are ignorant, they don't know what is good for them. Out of ignorance, they are attacking me. But I have taken this task to introduce Krishna consciousness to them at the cost of receiving attacks, abusive words. And we have many, many examples. Prabhupada is giving the example of Jesus Christ. He was crucified. We read from the Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj, he was an innocent boy, but his father attempted to kill him in so many ways. We have another example of Haridas Thakur, one of the great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was constantly chanting. He was born in a Muslim family and he was chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And some Muslim people, they goes and complained against him. And then the king ordered to beat him. In 22 marketplaces, he was beaten up badly. And then it's very interesting to understand that how a devotee is nirvair. Not only just nirvair, but he is very compassionate. So when this Haridas Thakur was beaten up in the market, then all the soldiers who was like assigned to go and beat him and kill him. So 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, like so many attempts, 22 times they're beating him in different marketplace in public. And he was constantly continue to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Nothing happened. He was unaffected. He was on a different level. And then finally, they become hopeless, all these soldiers, those who were sent to kill him. And they became little concerned. He says, so many times we attempted to kill him, nothing is happening to him. If he goes back now to the king and we tell that, we couldn't kill him, it will be shame on us and this king will be very angry on us. Rather, he will kill us. So they became very concerned and they became very morose and they started crying. Then Haridas Thakur asked him, hey, what happened? Why are you crying? He said, this is the situation. If we go back and, inform the king that we couldn't kill you, then king will kill us. So, oh, that is your concern. Then what happened? Actually, this Haridas Thakur, he actually jumped into the water. And he says, if your life, is depend on me getting died, then I'll just kill myself. He jumped into the water and then his body started floating like a dead body. And then they were very happy that finally he's killed, he died. And then his body floated like a dead body and went to the other end of the river, whatever water. And then he got up and he started chanting Hare Krishna. So he had that art of, lying like a dead body. He did that, so they are happy and they informed that he had died. And then he woke up, like he got up and then he started chanting. So the point is, what we are talking here is that devotee is nirvair. He doesn't have any enmity. Even the person is, inculcating a lot of suffering, but still he is very kind and compassionate to them. And another one great example is our loving Srila Prabhupada, that while he was here and he was preaching, he had to face many, many challenges. Many people attacked. There's one time when there was a Rath Yatra was going on, and some people, little envious people, they came and threw a bomb, some small hand grenade, something like that, to create some disruption, like that. But Prabhupada still continued to preach. It's very easy to say these people are useless people, bogus people, I'm trying to help them and they're trying to attack me, I'm not interested, I'm going back. But no, the devotee is nirvair, because he understands that this is what is the only thing that will save them. And that is when this attack happened, this bomb was thrown, and that is when Prabhupada actually, all the devotees, disciples were a little concerned. They came and then Prabhupada says, okay, now I'll teach you something today which will bring a lot of production. And then Prabhupada gathered all the disciples, then he started teaching them the Narsimha Arti. That is when this Narsimha Arti, singing daily Narsimha Arti in a temple, was introduced at that time. And then you can hear that recording wherein Prabhupada is teaching Namaste Narasimhaya, like that, and then devotees and disciples are following like that. So these are the 5 items here. We see that Mat Karma Krin, Mat Parmo, Mat Bhakta, Sangha Varjita, Nirvair Sarvabhuteshu, Yasa Mameti Pandava. So we follow all these 5 items. Krishna says you can come back to, certainly comes to me. Okay, we'll pause here and yes, what is your question? Okay, so there's so many things we do in this world, like making money and our job and all that. So how it can be Krishna's work? Yes, we can make that as Krishna's work. Krishna explains in 9th chapter, Yat karosi, yat juhosi, yat dashnasi, dadasi yat. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give, you tat kuru summadarpanam. You first offer it to me and then you use. So if you are doing your job, you are making money, offer some part of that money in the service of Krishna, and then that becomes Krishna Prasad. Your work also becomes Krishna's work, because the result of your work you are offering in the service of Krishna. So though it is not directly Krishna's work, but still by offering the result of your work in the service of Krishna, that is also considered as, in one way, Krishna's work. It may not be directly Krishna's work, but still it is purified. It will not create the bondage and entanglement to you if we can offer that result in the service of Krishna. So whatever we do, we can offer like that. If you are an author, you can write physics books, you can write also something about Krishna and try to share this wisdom with your abilities. Read Bhagavad Gita, understand, talk to devotees, feel inspired and write some articles. Use your abilities, your skills, and share with some people. So you can utilize your skills like that. So yeah, these are the different practical ways to engage our abilities or skills our resources in the service of Krishna. Okay. Okay, so now we have to Hare Krishna. So, is there someone else? Okay. So, anybody is coming first time, please raise your hand. Okay. Okay, there's some people. Hare Krishna, welcome all the new visitors to Shri Krishna Balaram temple. So, we have a very unique way of welcoming all the new visitors. And Mataji is there. She will love to offer you a special gift. So please don't forget to collect your gift. Now we'll be having the Aarti. And after the Aarti, you can meet her on the counter there and collect your special gift. And we have a lot of other programs, so you can inquire, explore about those programs also there. Now our next program is Aarti. And also we chant Hare Krishna mantra, but we already now running out of the time. So we recommend to chant this Hare Krishna mantra every day. Those who are new, it is very simple process. It is chanting of this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So you can take one beat, which contains 108 beats, and then you can count on the beats and chant this mantra. You can practice this mantra meditation every day. It can be chanted anytime, morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you find time, at any place, in your house, in your office. So please do practice this. Today we are skipping chanting this, and then we'll turn towards the announcements first. Okay, there are a few more announcements.
Hare Krishna. We request the Sunday sponsors, fee sponsors today to come forward for Sankalpa. We have Uma Maheshwar Rao Ponakanti. If you're here, please come for Sankalpa. And also we have Aryan Produturi. If Aryan is here, he can also come forward, please. We have Anil Kumar Prabhu also. He can also come forward for Sankalpa. Everybody can face towards Krishna Balaram for Aarti now.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Srinivas Govinda, Jaya Srinivas Govinda, Srinivas Govinda, Jaya Srinivas Govinda.